All right, ladies and gentlemen, very big welcome to week 9. We're coming towards the end now. Only a few more weeks to go, and we obviously have to continue working on our assignments. So today I'm going to be talking about an organizing framework for the strategic management of information system and of IT. Obviously, I'm going to go and repeat the same information. If you have any questions that you would like to go and they are more specific, let's say to your class, it is very important that you make contact with your leader, with your lecturer very quickly, especially, for example, if there's any issues relating to who is your group members, who do you need to work with, and so on. Any issues, members are not actually responding, any problem like that. It's about basically going and dealing with that appropriately to try to solve the right problem. So the consultation times for each of those people is listed here. It's important to bear that in mind as part of your work. A very important thing to remember about the copyright. Always repeat it. I always say the same thing. Do not copy any information that is not yours. Do not do it. Even if you acknowledge it, do not copy any information that is not yours. It's very important that you are actually using your own information appropriately as part of the work. And it's very important to be able to go and be paraphrasing a lot of the work. This was a very big problem with the first assignment, which led many people to get penalties. Penalties in this first instance, especially if it was the first time, was basically ranging up to 50% penalty on the mark. This meant that even when people went and made the resubmission, they were only able to get 5 or 6 on their assignment because they obviously had a 50% penalties applied on their work. And on top of that, there's all of these issues that are related. So it's very important to ensure that anything to do with copyright is basically being managed very well. And I'm saying this is because we now have the group assignment that you guys need to work on. And it is very important to ensure you are doing everything your own work, no copying, no editing. It just needs to be your own paraphrasing of all of this work that you've read and is actually relevant for your work. Now, last week we went and actually spoke about a number of topics. We spoke about the investment and priority setting policies. We spoke about justifying and evaluating any investment I would like to go and set in terms of information system and IT. We spoke about justifying the business applications we would like to go and use. We spoke about justifying the technology infrastructure I'm going to be investing in to be able to go and support a lot of the various things within my organization, such as to go and build business applications. We spoke about the importance of risk management. And when I talk about risk management, we spoke about, managing all of these various risks. We spoke about various types of risks. We spoke about technical risks, non-technical risks, to just go and name a few. We also spoke about very difficult risks, such as organizational risk. We spoke about things that are harder to be able to go and really go and manage. Like you might be able to manage technical risks, or when it comes to managing, let's say, CEO's lack of commitment, this is an organizational risk. This is much more difficult for us to be able to go and manage in a normal instance than any other risk we might go and have within the organization. We spoke about managing the portfolio of our investments. Our investments won't basically be in one category. It's going to be a wide range of categories we need to go and think about. And it's about how do we go and manage all of this portfolio of various investments, and to manage a support investment versus a strategic investment. They're not the same. They basically require a different way of dealing with all of these various, various priorities. We spoke about setting priorities among information system and IT investments. Which one is more important? So if I'm talking about software projects, hardware projects, infrastructure projects, in every one of those categories, when you want to go and actually work on ensuring you're going to go and deliver a project, let's say there are 10 software projects that are available you could go and invest your money in. You have to be very clear in asking the question, which one of those projects am I going to need to go and really invest my money in? You need to really know that particular information to be able to really go and get the right outcome. We speak about organizational IS/IT portfolio and investment management maturities. We said they are ranging from immature and unsuccessful all the way to very mature and very successful. And the the difference usually is about, well, people are starting to make a business case. People are starting to go and ensure that anything they're selecting is aligning between the business and strategy. People are making sure that there's an alignment in terms of stakeholders sitting down and basically paying attention to all of this work that we're trying to go and deliver at any particular point of time. So it's about really getting into the details of all of these things that needs to go and be delivered to be able to go and really reach the right outcomes. This is really what we need to go and think about in terms of all of these investments in terms of the portfolio. Now we're going to go and speak about other topics. We're going to talk about the strategic management requirement. We're going to talk about positioning and managing information system and IT in an organization. We're going to go from a functional view of information system and IT to an organizational wide perspective. We talk about things like my capability, things my competencies, things like my resources, and so on. We talk about information system and IT governance and why is governance something that is really important. We speak about the decisions that need to be governed. What am I going to go and need to decide? For example, investment, financials, and so on. We speak about creating, or we're going to speak about creating the organizing framework for information system and IS and IT decision making. We're going to talk about the instruments that are available in relation to governance. What are the various instruments of governance that we could go and think about managing? I'm going to take this opportunity to go and say thank you to all of these people who joined since I started my session. I've had only about 4, and now I'm having 19 extra people. So well done, welcome. Thank you very much all for coming. Just keep on coming, guys, and making sure you keep on attending your lectures and working on your assignments. That's very, very important. Now, ladies and gentlemen, information system and IT management incorporate a number of things. Incorporates that we need to go and actually formulate a strategy. We need to go and plan the strategy, get the strategy out there, and then we need to go and actually get the planning happening. That's all correct. But the most important thing when you actually go and get a strategy is you need to go and ensure you're going to go and implement that strategy within the organization. I could go and choose any strategy possible within my organization, but without me ensuring that I'm going to go and actually get that strategy to be implemented, I won't be able to go and really reach the potential benefits that I thought are able to go and be delivered. And when I talk about delivering all of these outcomes, it's about really managing the programs, managing the projects. When I talk about a project, it's one single set of interrelated tasks and activities that we need to go and do to be able to go and reach the right outcomes. When I talk about a program is a set of interrelated projects. So you might have 10 projects that together will help you to reach one main outcome that we're trying to go and really go and deliver. So it's really about ensuring we're going to go and manage a whole program as well as a project. We need to acquire new applications. We need to also use new application. We need to go and ensure there is a change happening within my organization. We need to get technology happening. We need to get processes changing. We need to have new services available. We need to go and help people within our business to be able to go and really reach the right outcome, as well as offer services to our clients to be able to go and reach the right goals. When we talk about a governance framework, we need a framework to govern and manage the whole way that we're trying to go and deliver IS and IT within the organization. We talk about developing strategy. That's great that you have a strategy, but we get that strategy in order for us to be able to achieve the actual business outcomes. Okay, we get investments and expenditure to reach an outcome. This positive outcome we would like to go and actually achieve. So when I talk about all of these strategy is about being creative. Strategy is about being innovative. Strategy is about, informally come and see the other group together within the organization, speak to each other, share ideas, share knowledge. Strategy is about getting the formal planning that is available. Strategy is about finding all the opportunities that are available out there and trying to say, well, how am I going to go and ensure I am going to go and benefit and get all of these opportunities to go and be realized. All of these various things that we're talking about, okay, they need to be very much effectively managed. They need to be very much integrated together. Informal thinking with formal planning, with the opportunity, with innovation, with creativity. All of this is how do I actually incorporate all of these various components together through an appropriate way of management to be able to go and reach the outcomes we would like to go and reach. Feedback is very important. Feedback or control mechanism are also required. Why? Because this feedback and this control will help us to ensure that plans are actually being delivered. Will help us to ensure that things are being properly implemented within the organizations. We help us to ensure we are able to reach the right outcomes. Okay, it helps us to ensure that any direction, any changes we go and say we are going to be able to go and deliver any of these changes, their achievement would basically start becoming much more possible. So we start thinking from, we need to define mission, objective, assess the situation, look at our options, and we need to select something we would like to go and do. And all of this is really about establishing my strategic direction. Then we go and start planning, strategic planning of the options selected. I selected all of these options. What are we going to go and do? Let's go and actually plan how we're going to go and create strategic decisions to be able to go and reach all of those things we would like to go and reach. And now we start going to actually implement various things we would like to go and actually implement. So what we do, it's really about all of these various interrelated components. So when we implement, we go and get the feedback. When we go and actually create the plan, we go and get the feedback. When we get the feedback, we basically start ensuring we are making changes. So if I implement and I get feedback, I basically try to go and ensure we're going to go and make adjustments to strategies. When it's going to go to get feedback here, we're going to start defining more strategies to be able to go and reach the right outcomes. But the bottom line is there's always things are happening. We basically decide what we want to do. We make the strategic planning based on the various options available. We implement them. And throughout the way, we are always trying to say, okay, let me go and pick up all of this feedback. Let me go and learn what is happening to be able to go and try to reach the right outcomes. Now, it's very, very important to be accountable. Many CIOs are being held accountable. Okay, many CIOs needs to go and demonstrate that they are actually go and deliver the value. Without that value, it's basically going to be a big problem because we're not actually demonstrating to the organization that that basically we are basically delivering the right outcomes that should go and really be delivered. It's very, very important that we go and actually go and really reach that outcome. So they need to go and ensure they are going to go and deliver the value that is actually required in terms of that spend they are actually going in and be done. This raises the prospect of a CIO and the information system/IT unit being held accountable. I'm going to make you accountable. You're going to lose your job if you're not going to get the right outcomes. Okay? Held accountable for something that only happens when business colleagues change working practices. So I am basically going to go and be managing all of my IT within the organization. But, what if the business doesn't end up going and using it? If they don't actually end up using it, then it is still my fault as a CIO. I need to go and find an approach in order for me to be able to go and ensure they are going to go and be implementing all of those practices that I said I would like to go and be implementing. Even if IT infrastructure, applications, and services are provisioned and are delivered directly from the cloud, like you're not actually doing them in the business, even if someone else is actually going and delivering this on your behalf, many issues associated with IS and IT will not go away. It doesn't matter. You know why? Because the challenges in the business are not going to change. You still need to go and deliver value. Okay? So it's very important to ensure you are delivering that particular value that is required at any particular point of time. Even when you go and actually make a total outsourcing, okay, someone else is doing the whole job for you, IT services, infrastructure, even when you do a total outsourcing between someone else is delivering that service. It's another company, it's not you. You give it to someone else to do. The organization still requires an information system and IT strategy. Okay, they need to decide on the choices. Are we going to standardize? How much integration are we going to go and do? Okay, they need to go and define innovations enabled by IT. They need to go and decide whether they're going to go and change their processes and redesign it. They need to kind of decide whether they're going to have new business models, new innovations, new customer experiences. So it doesn't matter whether it's outsourced, you do it yourself, or in between. It does not really matter. It's really, really important to ensure that you have an information system and IT strategy that you actually have and you're trying to go and deliver at any particular point of time. Now, decisions which may traditionally have been made but wrongly by IT management, in other words, the demand decisions used to be made by IT, this is wrong, are being devoted into the realm of non-IT executives. So it's actually now been sent to the business to be able to go and do. It's no longer going to be something simply that IT executive need to do. And that's right, because the demand decisions shouldn't really, shouldn't be coming from IT. IT shouldn't be the one who's actually telling people what is needed. IT shouldn't be telling people what resources are needed, what technology are needed. It is the business that needs to go and actually tell the IT what they need within the actual organization. So that's something basically is what we need to go and do. At the same time, some of the supply side activities, which used to be basically performed in-house, such as by an IT department, are now being given to people outside the organization, outsourcing external providers. So you can see this is all used to basically be done within the organization. We have leadership, we have architecture management, we have business enhancement, technology, and so on. And what we basically have now, some of these things that used to be done inside this big pyramid of the organization now is actually changing, where we have some decisions being given back to the business the way they should be done, and we have some decisions are basically being given to the external businesses, because we are no longer looking at any of these things internally as a business, but rather we're going externally. We're actually considering about the outcomes and the benefits that could be delivered by people outside of the business. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we need to go from a functional view of information system and IT. Functional view is where you're simply thinking about the information system and IT that is needed within your own function. Okay, we're going to need to move from a function view of information system and IT to an organizational wide perspective. It is the actual capability. It's about the competence that the whole business need to do, not simply the capability that we need to have within one specific department. So we think about 6 interrelated macro level, high level competencies we need to go and have. We think about the information system capability. We speak about the competences. We speak about all the resources. And then we speak from the resources to competences, and from the competence, this is where I build my capability to be able to go and achieve the success that I would like to go and deliver. So when I talk about all of these topics, and we'll discuss in more details in a lecture, but there are 6 interrelated high-level competencies we need to think about. What are those? Well, to be able to go and achieve the outcomes we would like to go and be able to be achieving, we need to have a strategy, the ability to identify and evaluate the implications of IT-based opportunities as an integral part of the overall business strategy formulation, and define the role of information system and IT in the organization and in terms of all of these products and services we're trying to go and deliver. So without the strategy, we won't be able to really have that competence to be able to go and ensure we are successfully going to be able to implement information system and IT. We speak about the contribution of information system. We need to define what is the contribution. Why are we going to be implementing all of these things within the organization? Okay, what is it going to do in terms of processes? What is it going to do in terms of the information that is available? What is it going to do in terms of the application investment? We need to go and think about all of these contribution of information system. We also need to think about the IT capability. We need to define that. What do we really need to be able to go and translate our business strategy into a long-term plan that has been delivered. What architectures do I need? What technology do I need? What resourcing do I need? I need to think about all of these things. We need to think about the use, the ability to maximize the benefit realized from the implementation through effective exploration and exploitation of information application technology. In other words, yes, we're defining the contribution of information system. Yes, we're defining contribution of IT capability. But if I get the most important things and I get it and I implement it and I don't actually use it, I won't really go and reach the right outcomes and the benefits I would like to go and reach. We go and deliver the solutions, the ability to deploy resources, to devise, provision, implement, and operate information system and IT business solutions that exploit the capabilities that are available of technology. And finally, we need to supply. Supply is really the ability to create and maintain an appropriate and adaptable information technology and applications, supply chain, and resources capability. All of these will be required. So you'll be able to go and really get the outcomes you would like to go and get from getting the right strategy. It's really important to have all of the 6 interrelated competencies that will help you to ensure that you will successfully deliver the outcomes using information system and IT. We spoke about that 6 various competencies. The authors really developed a model of the components of the information system and IT capability and indicated how they are related. So if you go and think here, there's a number of levels we need to go and think about. There's a resource level, there's an organizational level, and there's an enterprise level. The resource level is the bottom part that we actually don't need. We need to have the right business skills. We need to have the right knowledge. We need to have the right experience. We need to have the right technical skills. We need to have the right behavior and attitude. All of these are related to the resources you have within the organization. If you don't have people with the right knowledge, if you don't have people with the right attitude, if you don't have people with the right experience, it doesn't matter what you do, you won't be able to really reach the right level. But having the great people without having the right processes also is not going to go and reach the right outcomes. I have the people. What is the role of those people? What structure do they work alongside? In other words, who do they manage to? Who do they report to? What processes do they need to go and follow to be able to go and really reach the right outcomes? It's about really mobilizing all of those resources in a structured manner to be able to go and reach the right outcomes. And finally, you have the information system and IT capability. Actually manifests itself as a strategic resource that delivers value and improved performance for the organization. So to be able to get that improved performance, guys, you need that capability. So the processes relating to that capability, the information technology, you might have the system, you might have the application, you might have the system's application could generate the actual information you want, but without really having a process that tells us how to use that IT and how to use that technology, we won't be able to reach the outcome. And without having the people here at the bottom with the right skills and knowledge and behavior, you won't still reach the outcome. So to be able to go and really get the right outcome, it's about an organizational wide perspective that spans across resources, organizational level, and all of these enterprise levels. We talk about governance. Governance is really about management. We need to really have effective governance structures through which we actually ensure that decisions are made and decisions are being delivered. We have processes, we have mechanism, we have, management are encouraged to display all of these decision-making behaviors that reflect what does the stakeholder really need. So we need to have real structures. I have a manager who basically does the right decision. I have a manager who follows the right processes, but they need to make decisions, and these decisions must be made to be able to the benefit of all of these stakeholders. Okay, it needs to be done ethically, okay, towards all of these stakeholders, employees, customers, regulators, and government. For example, if you know your work is going to go and deliver an outcome that is going to actually cause people to get sick, it's something we really need to go and bear in mind and know about. For example, we need to ensure, ethically, we need to ensure that we are actually operating in a health, think about health and safety of people. You're not going to go and get people to go and work 50 hours a week, 60 hours a week. You're going to go and actually think about their health and safety. Yes, you can earn more money, but through management, it's a long-term decision. It's a long-term thinking. It's about thinking how we're going to go and deliver the value to the right people. Information system and IT governance is concerned with promoting consistent and coherent decision-making behavior across an organization regarding information system and technology to maximize value. Consistent and coherent. We can't go and actually have something that is not consistent with our business needs. We can't have a decision in my department that is not coherent with the decisions made in the other department because they're going to go and interact together. We can't have two different systems, and those systems are not going to go and be systems that people go and interact together to get those outcomes. We need to establish a governance framework for information system and IT, which is basically about ensuring there are clear accountabilities. Who are we going to go and put accountable to ensure the work is being done? Who is responsible to go and get the job? We need to define all of these processes. We need to set all of those policies. We need to establish committees, cross-organizational forums. We need to get the right measurements, ensure things are being done. We need to create mechanisms to bring business and IT managers and users together in decision-making processes. Don't make the decision made by one area of the business by itself without thinking about the other more important areas of the business. We need to design and implement a governance framework for information system, which requires an effort, which requires people basically being partners, which requires people working together, okay? Not simply people in IT. IT executives are very important. They know the technology. They know what is out there. They know what value it could deliver to the business. That's awesome. That's great. No one is actually discrediting any of that. But it's also about ensuring we are going to get the right partnership. We're ensuring that we're speaking to the business. We're understanding their business. We might have the great technology that doesn't fit with the business needs. So what do? I keep on actually speaking to the business, understand what they want, understand what they're looking after, and based on that, I'll be able to go and reach the right outcome that will deliver the value that is needed for our business. When we think about all of these governance, think about this basically, vision, leadership. We think about group-wide IT strategy for core infrastructure. We speak about strategic accountability to stakeholders. We speak about synergy and exploitation of all of these mechanisms that are potentially available out there. All of this is just well and true and right. But we talk about all of these various ways of operating. We could be operating in a centralized manner, or we can be operating on a decentralized manner. Decentralized manner means various people do whatever basically they believe is right at any particular point of time. We talk about excessive overall cost. We talk about variable standards of information system and IT competence. Every department have their own way. We talk about Department A doing a job, and then Department B going and recreating the wheel, doing the same job. It's already been done. Oh, that's decentralized. We don't know what they've done. We talk about no synergy, no integration. We talk about users control information system priorities. Not, a lot of time, not really the centralized manner. We talk about business unit owning this information system. We spoke about being responsive to how the business needs are changing at any particular point of time. In contrast, when you speak about centralization, why am I going to have 10 systems available? Well, I can have one system that everybody is able to go and use. This is what I call about economies of scales. We talk about controlling the standards that everybody is expected to go and actually use at any particular point of time. We talk about critical mass of skills. We make sure everybody have the skills in the particular area. We talk about, a lot of time being unresponsive to any changes within the business environment. No business ownership of the system. It is actually owned by head office. No business accountability for cost because it is at the high level centralized manner, centralized management of the cost. It means that we are not actually always satisfying all the needs of the business at any particular point of time. The business might actually have different needs, might have different requirements, and those requirements might not actually go and be delivered and supplied at any particular point of time, because we are using that centralized model of us going and sit down and actually operating. We talk about decisions that need to be governed. In designing the organizing framework for the strategic management of information system and IT, there are essentially 3 issues we need to go and actually think about, and we need to go and actually address. 1, what are the critical governance decisions? Both what are the demand decisions we need to do, and what are the supply decisions we are trying to go and make at any particular point of time. Second thing we need to ask ourselves, how are the decisions to be made? What is the process we need to go and do? Will they be unilateral or shared? Would there be one person, one department doing the decision? Would there be head office doing the decision? Would there be more than one department making the decision? Would there be business and IT doing decisions together? How things need to go and be done. Who makes a decision? Is it senior management? Is it business managers? Is it IT? Is it a committee? Or is it perhaps people who are actually external partners? Or are we going to get a various combination of all of these people to be able to go and ensure we are going to get the right outcomes that everybody is going to really be happy with? For each of these decisions that we're trying to go and really work on, the desired decision-making behavior can usually be captured in 1 sentence description, as I'm going to show you in the next figure. We go and think about all of these decisions, funding level of IT, information system strategy, prioritization of all of these spending, required IT capabilities, the management of all of these projects, change management, IT security. All of these are things we need to go and really bear in mind and think about as an organization. When I talk about funding level of IT, what's the desired behavior? Well, the executive management team should determine the annual spend that is available on IT. When I talk about the information system strategy, it should be a business driven and involve all heads of the actual business units that basically goes and contribute to ensure we are going and formulating it to get the right outcomes. When I talk about prioritizing the spending, it should be basically speaking to the heads of the business units. They should agree what is the priority. They should support us on ensuring where the IT money needs to go and be spent at any particular point of time. We shouldn't be making that decision. They should be basically telling us what we should do, what we should be doing at that particular time. When I talk about, required IT capabilities, who decide what is the IT capability that we need to go and actually go and do? Well, Group CIO should determine the technical capabilities required to implement information system strategy with input. So it is a Group CIO that needs to go and decide all of that outcome. Obviously, you need to have the input from the various people, but basically, that's what we need to go and do. When we talk about managing projects, okay, we talk about all projects follow a similar methodologies. Only one way to do IT-enabled change projects. When I talk about change management, one process to follow for any software changes. We don't have one process for the CEO, one process for the IT, and one process for the business. Everybody follow the same process if they would like to go and ensure they're going to go and achieve a specific outcome. What about for the IT security? It is all the organization needs to go and ensure they conform to the set of policies that we go and have at any particular point of time. So you can see there's a lot of decisions that needs to be made. There's a lot of behavior that's really relating to what I've said before. We need to ensure that people are behaving in a certain manner. So what we do is it's about ensuring we are implementing that behavior, ensuring there's a clarity on that behavior that we are seeking, and ensuring that we getting those behaviors to go and be implemented in practice. Once choices have been made regarding how decisions should be made, the next task is to select the most appropriate instrument to promote and support those behaviors. How are you going to ensure that if you say, I want you to go, and for example, I want you to go and ensure that head of business units should agree on the priorities. How are you going to ensure that head of business units will actually go and start getting together and agree on the priorities for IT spending before they actually start getting done? Well, how you get things done is through a number of instruments. One of the instruments is authority. People in charge, individual, group, or forum that should make the decision and is ultimately answerable to the outcome of the decision. So someone who's in charge to make the decision, and if we go and ask why you've made that decision, they tell me why that decision was made at any particular point of time. We talk about a process, how the decision will be made to enable consistency. So if you want to talk about the same change management process, well, you need to create that process. You need to ensure that everybody follows the same process. Well, create it and everybody will follow it. We need to create responsibilities. Okay, I say I have a change management process. Okay, who's responsible to ensure that the change management process is being delivered? Well, I have a change manager that is available in the organization. It is the individuals or bodies responsible to be able to go and ensure that the day-to-day execution of this decision is actually being done appropriately. We talk about coordination, the mechanism and processes for ensuring coherence across information system and IT decisions areas, coherence across various areas. Don't make one decision in one area that is contradicting the decision in other areas. Let's go and try to get the coherence that is required. Monitoring the approaches to policing decisions, ensuring conformance across the organization to decision being made. It's about ensuring we monitor, not simply say you need to do this. Let me go and ensure I monitor that something is actually being done the way it should be done. You look here. These are the various areas we just spoke about, the 6 areas. So if we talk about the decision is funding level of IT, who's the authority? For example, we can say executive management team. Process, we're going to use a zero budgeting approach. Who's responsible? Executive management team. Who's going to basically go and ensure we're going to go and coordinate ensuring all of these coherence? Well, IT steering committee. Who's going to monitor? The group audit. So you can see all of these decisions we spoke about that needs to go and be done. Project, security, change management, and so on. You can see clearly authorities, processes, responsibilities, coordination, and monitoring. That keeps on happening constantly. We talk about all of these, structural instruments to ensure things gets done. Structure. Let's say I talk about a organizational structure that clearly set the roles of various people, clearly said what everybody needs to do, clearly set the reporting lines that we need to go and understand and manage at any particular point of time. We talk about the horizontal instruments, people working together, collaborating, sharing knowledge, communicating, steering committees from more than one area, sitting down and together and deciding how we're going to go and get things done. We speak about the functional instruments. We need the processes, we need the rules, we need the procedures that needs to go and be followed to ensure the job go and gets done. And we need the social integration. How do we ensure everybody are talking a common language? Not someone talking technical language, sometimes I'm talking business language, and the two can't actually connect together because they don't understand what the other party is actually saying. We need to have that mutual understanding. We need to understand them, they need to understand us, they need to understand the IT language in a simple manner. You need to understand the business needs in a simple manner. Together we collaborate, we work together, we get the right outcomes. We need to go and try to restrain, there are restraining policies and there are enabling policies within the organization. There are many times, for example, policies that don't help me to go and get outcomes. For example, might have technical compatibility standards we have to go and do the same thing happening. We might have standards for buying equipment and services. We might have common system mandate everybody must go and actually use. We might have, let's say, disaster recovery, security, and quality. Everybody use the same thing. But you could also have enabling policies within the organization. For example, making group resource services available to business units, negotiating volume discounts, managing supplier relationships, influencing behavior through charge out rules, setting criteria for selecting common system, funding shared assets. So you could be having policies that help people work together, and you might be having policies that maybe be a bit more restraining, that actually doesn't help people to go and make change and adjust according to what they believe is needed at any particular point of time. Ladies and gentlemen, this basically is really an introduction of what I'm going to be covering in more details and much more in-depth lecture slides when I'm going to go and deliver my webinar, either on, for me it's on Thursday, but my team members are on Wednesday or Friday. Do you have any question about what I've just explained to you today? Anybody have any questions at all they would like to go and inquire about? All right, guys. Guys, for this week, it's about really reading the chapter 10. It's about continuing to work on your group assignment. I just want to remind everybody, the group assignment is due on Monday in week 11. It is on a Monday. It can't be done after, because we need to start presenting our work on a Monday, and we need to ensure we're going to continue presenting on week 12, and we're going to make sure we're going to go and have some final exam preparation in week 12. So everything needs to be done within that particular time, and it must be ready, submitted by Monday in week 11. So you need to be ready for your presentation by Monday of week 11. Any questions about your assignment? I remind you, there are many, many questions to do. By this time, you should have already done the first 4 questions, and you should now be working on the remaining questions and on the presentations, which is the plan that I gave you guys to actually go and work on. It is very important to basically ensure that we go and get the right outcomes. So it's something to go and really bear in mind. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say, I thank you very much for all your work, for all your effort. I want you to continue working hard throughout the course to be able to go and ensure we reach the right outcomes. Very, very important. Abhishek, I'm still haven't finished with my class. Thank you very much all guys for your work. If there's anything at all you guys need, you just need to let me know or let your team members know. So please make sure you let us know. Continue working hard, continue attending your class, continue coming to your webinars. I hope you're going to be able to go and achieve success. Keep working hard, guys. Thank you very much for coming today. All the best.